rest in the back if it still gets like below 32, but then it's going to be about because they freeze the pipes. Mark, they canceled work again.
Turn the thermostats down so
We're supposed to finish work today.
thermostat sounds like they're like 1945 back there. May take it.
Has something to do with the suspension.
Looks like we got everybody here. How many people have, how many are first timers here? Oh. Not just our first time camping, this was that fire trade. Everybody's camped that trade before? Who's had more than 6 campers? Then we're going to need you guys to come up here and help. So we're doing our how we use this thing today. This is Ben, Service Department. I'm Craig, our Parts Department. We're going to basically just go from start to finish. You pull into a campsite, what you need to do when you get done. So hopefully when you go camping, you're not looking like Robin Williams from the movie RV. That's our goal.
First thing we need to get to the campsite, we want to back in, level up the camper, make sure it's level. And do that by putting chocks under the tires, make sure it's level. You got bubble levels as well. Make sure where you're at. Next thing.
Now this is our suggestion. I mean, you guys have your own way that you do things, especially the ones that have been doing it for years. You've got your processes, and but this is just how, if we were going camping, this is how, especially some of the things we see in the service, parts of the service department, that things that happen to people, that come in for repairs, we come up with our own little, okay, well, let's do this first. That'll eliminate, this here happening maybe. So, there's no wrong way. It's the best way for you to save on everything else.
One thing that we recommend is hooking the water up first. Plug in, there might be a water heater element turned on or refrigerator. You just want to make sure that you've got water in there so you don't fry your heating in the water heater. So we recommend putting the water in first.
And so usually when you turn the water on, it's going to fill up your water heater first, and then so plug that electric in. Suburbans, Atwoods are a little more resilient than Suburbans. As soon as you turn them on, the water in them, they're gone. That heat is gone. So then you got an issue with no hot water, or possibly trips to GFCI as well. So then you go, well, I got outlets not working either. So we recommend putting the water in first before you hook the electric up.
Next thing, run the slides out.
Run your slides out. Make sure you check your cabinet doors. How many people run the slide room out and you busted a cabinet door? Yeah, those doors like to open in transit, so.
It was really strange because everybody was there trying to figure out, because the button is on by the door, front door.
Yeah, everybody goes in and just runs the slide.
Said slide out and there, nothing happened, and
Yeah, those doors like to open in transit, and sometimes it is difficult. You've got to climb around some stuff to try and see, but that's
Better safe than sorry.
yeah, better safe than sorry. That's the way the manufacturers did it.
Or
they didn't
see me.
They didn't ask you guys how to build it, right?
that's right.
So I can run those slide rooms out. You want to hook your electric up. We recommend surge protectors. Electricity at the campgrounds is by far the most expensive upgrade for them, so that's the last thing on our mind. Especially if you're furthest away from the main power. It's July and you've got everybody running 1 to 2 air conditioners. Some campers have got 3 on them. They're running all 3 air conditioners to let power. So you're going to get a low voltage situation and hurt yourself. Blow a converter if there's a storm. Everybody's camping, you know, storms come up, I'm sure. So surge protector, put that in first. It'll tell you if it's safe to plug in. Once it's safe to plug in, plug your camper into that, then you're set there. We'll let Ben talk about the sewage.
I don't really want to. Everybody knows what that is, I guess. At least you should. Simple enough, you plug it into the back of the camper, leave the black tank closed all the time. If you don't have what we call a food pyramid, it's not very fun. Neither is to clean it. But
You guys hear Ben?
no. Hang on.
Put it around.
It is a.
That's good.
Gotta have a little help.
He's new to this.
Yeah.
He doesn't like public speaking, so.
So.
We've got this up here for him just in case.
And the bathroom's right through here, so all good. There's also Fusion. We like this product. It's super easy. Put it in the toilet. You don't have any smell. It keeps the toilet clean, black tank clean, and free and clear. You can also use that in your drain tank as well. Get rid of some of the smell.
Does everybody understand why we say don't open the black tank valve? So, I mean, you want to let it build up about 3/4 of the way full before you dump it. If not, if you don't flush enough water, everybody's got kids or grandkids that go with them, they don't flush, they just push the lever, it goes down, and then stop. Well, then that stuff dries out, just like the old days when we were in school, we do paper towel, toilet paper up on a ceiling, that's what happens in your tank. So it just eventually just builds up.
Makes a nice little pyramid.
Question. Is it okay?
Here.
I do work here, but and I have this question all the time when I'm selling campers. I have a theory that it's okay to put water in your black tank, in the toilet, just a bit before you start.
Well, that's what you want to do with your chemical. You don't want to just put chemical in your tank.
No, I mean straight, just like maybe water and some little dollar or little something,
Yeah,
so that when you're using it, then it's actually dissolving as it's. And you're not having to stand there and hold the thing like.
Well, that's not. So when you put the chemical in, you know, they tell you run, 3 or 4 gallons worth of water down the toilet, so you've always got some liquid in there. So
Yeah, so whatever.
don't
Always
don't-
have to be some little selection.
Okay.
yeah, just don't put it into a dry tank. Then once you dump your black tank, when it's time to dump, you see it's 3/4 liquid, dump your black tank, and then go and dump your gray tank. Some people leave the gray valve open. I tell them to leave it closed as well, let it build up, because then that's going to rinse out your hose after you get done with the black tank. Run the gray water through it. So you can do that as your camper, depending on how much you guys are using it. You may or may not have full hookup. So if you don't have full hookup, then obviously you're not going to have your valves open, or at least the campground hope you have the valve open. So, but the same thing goes to the dump station. When you get to the dump station, when you leave, dump your black tank, dump your gray tank, and then when you get done, put some more water in your tank, put the chemical in there. Don't just leave it dry, until your next camping trip. Make sure you leave some water in there, with the chemical in there.
If you said black tank, then gray tank, why does it matter?
Well, we just said once your sewage goes through here, you can use your gray water to just kind of rinse the hose out. Where are you going to store your hose at? So you either store it in your bumper if you've got a 4-inch square bumper, which is okay, but some people, if they don't have a bumper, some of them don't have a bumper, they've got to put them in a tote inside of the compartment, so just don't rinse that hose out, so eliminate that over.
Any questions on sewage?
So you say to leave water back in your black tank after you're
Yeah,
done?
leave it in there, leave the chemical in there, leave that chemical in there. This is gonna help away that smell, and then, like I said, have a little water, that's not gonna hurt, especially in the summertime, it's not gonna freeze, obviously.
But in the winter you want that.
Well, in the wintertime, you're gonna be winterized, or, yeah, if you're winterized, done, I mean, just empty it all out. But in the summertime, especially in the heat, A lot of times the heat, it's 100+ degrees outside. Make sure you're using, whether you use liquid or pouches, double your dosage. I think they say above 80, 90 degrees, you want to double your dosage because of that heat. So,
One more time, what was the chemical that you had?
what, this is the chemical? This one here is Nugent. There's tons of chemicals out there. Everybody has their, for lack of a better term, their own flavor that they like. This is the one that's worked well with us. We've had people that live in their campers that don't have any issues with their tanks, their sensors, any of that. This stuff here puts like almost like a Teflon coating on the sensors, so you don't have to worry about the food, cold paper, all that stuff sticking to it. So, of course, if there's issues where you've got issues with your tank sensors, you can always, we recommend put the whole bottle in. You only use 2 ounces for 40 gallons of this. But put a whole bottle in. If you've got issues, fill your tank up, let it sit overnight. Or if you have access to being able to drive around that next morning, put a couple bags of ice down there with it, drive around, let that ice slosh up in there and knock stuff loose. And then usually after that, there's not an issue.
Does that product liquefy?
It is liquid.
No, does it liquefy the, what's
Yes,
in
it's
the
a
black?
tissue digester, odor, level cleaner, yeah, it's your all in one.
Okay, so it does liquefy the
It
solids.
helps break down your waste and your flow vapors. I'm gonna make it tough.
I don't know, what do you got next?
So after you've got your setup, then you're pretty much doing your camping. You know, it's careful to run your awning out, watch the weather. If it's gonna be windy, it's gonna rain, roll your awnings up, or you're coming to see bid. These awnings are made for shade. They'll tell you that.
Not for rain.
Yeah, they are made for shade. So even with the struts on them, you know, they're supposed to,
In the middle.
with the
Right here.
shed, so if they get water on them, they're supposed to do that. We still see them break down. So we just recommend, especially if you're going to be away from your camper for the day, either take a look, take note of the weather, or
Just
roll the
recommend,
ball
it
up.
makes it so much easier. That way you don't have any issues with it breaking or falling.
You come back, or you've got somebody that knows you, that's calling you while you're away, saying your awning's on the other side of the camper. It's went over, it's happening.
Yes, sir.
We're new to camping, and I see some videos where people take and put a string and stake. Is that recommended or no?
They do have those, you can do that as well. If you're gonna do that though, I would still put a pinch on the awning, one side, otherwise that water's just gonna bow in the middle.
Right.
Break the suit and not get it tied down. Some motorhomes, don't notice as much on the fifth wheel, but motorhomes, they've got wind sensors. You don't wanna tie those down. Yeah, because the wind sensor, when it gets to a certain point, it's gonna automatically roll up. So, that being tied down, and it's gonna fight against the motor, and all of a sudden you're gonna replace the motor. Some of the case awnings that are in cases, I don't know if you've got one, you've got a wind sensor on here? Yeah. So some of the smaller, the case awnings are from Class B motorhomes, and then the larger Class A's, they've got the wind sensor. So, plus, it's not really, on those type of awnings, there's not really usually a good place to tie them down at. So they're just made to, there's some food trucks, we've got a couple food trucks in town.
Food truck, yeah.
They've got the wind awnings, or wind sensors, so. So after you guys have camped, anybody got any questions so far? So if you roll your awning out too far and then roll it back, it's going to roll up back. That's usually what happens if it's rolled out too far.
Well, if you hit the button to extend, it will continue extending until it gets back to the camper. So when it gets all the way out, stop. Bring it back in, push the other button. Don't continue hitting the same button to bring it back in. That's rolling up like this.
Easy fix, you just gotta, sometimes you just gotta roll it back out. You go too far, then it becomes a pain in the butt sometimes.
If your awning fabric is rolled in under the tube and it's all the way up against the camper, it's rolled up like this.
Yes, ma'am.
On that chemical, did you say to put it in toilet every time?
Every time you've done, so after you've done your tanks,
Okay.
then you want to put chemical back in. So not every time you go to the bathroom, or anything, you only need 2 ounces for 40 gallons. So put 2 ounces down your toilet, 2 ounces down one of your sinks. Well, I recommend, put some water in there, both of them, and then you're good until you dump your tanks. Dump your tanks and then put some more back in, then you're ready to go.
So if you stop the camp, you put the chemical in first?
Well, you want to do that if you don't already have it. So if it's your first time out this season, before you even leave the house, I would go ahead and put the chemical in there, put 4 or 5 gallon of water down there with it, and then you're good until you get done camping and dump your tanks. Yeah, and then when you dump your tanks at either at the campsite or at the dump station, go ahead and put your chemical, put some water in it again, and then you're ready to go for 4 or 5 gallon of water in that tank is not going to hurt leaving it in there. Drive around with it. It's just going to keep it from drying out there. If there is anything left over, your residual from drying out. There are black tank flushes. A lot of the newer campers have black tank flushes, so you can. It's got a little jet in there, a hole with a little jet that shoots water inside the tank to help clean your flush your tanks out as well. And they also make attachments that go on your sewer hose that you can hook the water hose up to and shoot water back out through the pipes and everything as well. So there's options for that.
So it's a little like your awning rolling that backwards. Sometimes I have a hard time telling which way you go. You walk backwards. You want to
Go ahead and run this one in. Don't run it in backwards.
Maybe.
The code's all zeros.
Okay.
Do you need help?
Good parties. I always look for awnings in my slide room setting.
You want to make sure that the fabric, whenever it's rolling in, is on top of the awning tube. If it looks like, don't break it. If it looks like that would be rolling in backwards.
See, now I'm running it again. Let's go back out that way.
That does put a wear on the motors as well, making them run for that long. Keep going.
Grab that thing and come on.
Any other questions?
So the fabric is all on the top.
Yes, whenever you're rolling it, then the fabric's always going to be on top. Yeah, if it's on the bottom, just continue extending it, and it will eventually go back to the way it needs to be.
So, you guys have camped, had a great weekend of camping. Time to tear down. Who has slide rooms? Most everybody's got, nowadays got slide rooms. If you don't have slide toppers, which is the cover kind of like an awning over your slide room, recommend either, if you don't have a ladder on the back to get up on the top, take one of those folding ladders with you if you can, and a broom. You want to try to get any debris that's on that slide room from the trees that you're under, because everybody, you're always under a tree. Get that debris off that room before you run the room in. You run that room in with any twigs or any of that, you take a chance of tearing your slide seals. And then you're gonna be calling in for either a roof repair or slide seals to be replaced because they're torn. They wear out, but you want them to wear out in time, not because of any debris. So slide toppers are a good option to put on there. It also keeps the water, directly off the top. Now, obviously, if there's wind blowing from side to side or whatever, that's going to be another issue. You're not going to be able to keep them completely dry. But that keeps the majority of them off. If you didn't listen and you still have your awning out and it rains and it's got water pooled up, take a broom or something off the tip so you don't tear your fabric. Push it up, let that water run on. Slide rooms, you'll notice a lot of slide toppers, if it's raining, they pool, they get water down in them. Run your room in a little bit, you see all that water run off, and then run your room right back out. That's just a way to keep it from stretching that fabric out. So a little tip there.
Yes, the two things that I take with me is, of course, the ladder and my blower.
Yeah, leave
If
blow
you're under trees or whatever, you just blow them out real good before you.
Yeah, a lot of people are using it, they use it for their patios, clean it off,
Yeah.
they put their mat up, use it for everything. Any questions, Jim?
Yes. Guys, going back to your sewer line, do you guys still recommend stabilizing, keeping those at mean manual, the accordion deal?
Yeah, you always want a downhill slope on your sewer. We've always heard the term, don't flow uphill, so. But yeah, they make sewer supports that are graduated, so you always want a downward slope. If you don't have one of those, sometimes you can find some large rocks or whatever, campground, or you may have something in your camper you can use, but you always want to make sure you've got a downward slope to that sewer line.
Any other questions?
Is it okay to leave the gray and the black water open while you're camping?
Wouldn't recommend the black tank. Like we were saying, you kind of get that pyramid of waste. That's what happens. You're not going to, size of those tanks, you're going to need to use quite a bit of water to flush to get whatever you just put down that tank out to the other end possibly, just depending on the tank configuration. So that's why we recommend on the black tank, let it fill up about 3/4 of the way full before you dump it. That way you don't have anything that's dry inside there and flow. Gray tank, that's up to you. You can use it, to, like I said, to help wash out the hose. Now, if you have a washer dryer, open your gray tank. Washer dryers, well, they don't go through the tank. Washer dryers will automatically go out the pipe. They don't go into a tank. So you got to have a sewer hose hooked up with it. We have Montana.
Leon, most of them go out the pipes. Yours probably goes through the
It's unique to you.
Yes.
Well, some of the Montanas had we had one, I think we had one here that had a jacuzzi up in the front. So, of course, it takes a lot of water, but when you drained it, it didn't go into the tank. You had to have your sewer hose hooked up and the valves open at the end of it. Because it went directly out inside. But that's gray water. Typically, you're not going to have anything in the gray water, but dirty water, you may have a few food particles on the sinks. That's it.
Gray water's got a J trap too, where it keeps the water and the smell out.
Just like just like your house. Okay, so we run your slide rooms in, get ready to go, do everything reverse order. Just like you hooked up.
You run your slides in, make sure all the cabin doors are closed, make sure your entry doors or your passage doors are closed. That way you don't break those off whenever the slide room comes in as well.
Make sure you check your floors, sleeper floors. Don't have any rocks or anything. When slide rooms come in, if there's any rocks on the floor, it's going to go right across and tear your floor. So kind of do a little sweep of the floor, vacuum, whatever you want to do. Make sure you turn your water heater on electric. Make sure you flip your switch turn your water heaters off. That's where we got into the beginning of it, you know, burn an element out. Try to remember to switch your water heater off before you tear it down. That way you don't have to worry about it being on. We recommend draining the water heater. Some people have mixed feelings on this. After we're done camping, drain the water heater, let take you time to fill it up. Gets that water out of there, water doesn't build up bacteria.
This is tankless, what do I do then? Nothing, there's no drain on it. There's low point drains on the bottom of the camper that you can open. Go in, open up your sinks, and let all the water drain out. That's another easy way of doing it. If your tankless water heater, it's just a bunch of pipes, there's no drain on
It just keeps that water from
Yes.
getting stagnant and everything. Then you get a smell.
it. Yes.
You reckon you got to pull the animal rod out the drain?
On a Suburban, that's the only way to drain it. You gotta pull the anode rod. Plus, that water sits there and eats away at that anode rod. If you wanna come see me more often, buy a new anode rod, that's fine.
Why is that what?
But, yeah, but I know it's kind of, they're pain in the butt to do. But,
You got to do it in the winter, right?
yeah, you can go winterize, but if you're gonna be, I mean, if you're not camping for another week or two, especially, I mean, if you're going in a couple days, that's up to you. I mean, I would do it for a couple days. But if you're not going for another week, at least, I would drain that water. Otherwise, next time you get in there and you get it done, you're gonna get that rotten egg smell. Who else had that rotten egg smell in there? See a lot of hands, heads not. So that, I mean, that's that water building up in there, the bacteria building up, so you're getting that over in there.
Unhook power.
So unhook your power, unhook your water. Don't forget to take this off the phone. They're not cheap. Don't leave it there. I mean, the next guy might appreciate it, but don't leave that there. And then you're ready to pull your jacks up.
Get your 11 blocks out of the way, roll on out.
Try not to argue. Pulling out. You're too close. Oh, I told you to go this way. Or does that more happen when you're back in hitting level? Well, come our new products, and we've got something to help you guys out. Then once you get up to the dump station, you can do the same thing. If you didn't have full hookup, go to the dump station. You can get in that long line there, because you know everybody's got, there's a line getting out on Sunday morning. Get that taken care of. Like I said, put chemical back in your tank with some water. Gray tank, I mean, that's up to you if you want to put it in there, but black tank, definitely recommend put, 4 or 5 gallon of water in there with some chemical. That way it keeps the smell out. So when you go to get ready for the next trip, you go inside to load up and you're like, woo! That's what happens when you don't have any chemical in there working. So, that's the easiest way to do it. When you guys are at your house, we've got, you have a 50 to 30 adapter. There's 50 to 15, 30 to 15. When you hook up at your house on a regular household outlet, don't run your air conditioner. If it's a 30 amp camper, you're taking it down to 15 amps. So you're cutting your power in half. If you're on 50 amp, you're taking it down to 15. You're cutting your power down. Don't run your air conditioner. It's great for, you got your lights on, your refrigerator's getting cold, you guys are getting ready to go camping for the week. Otherwise, you'll be seeing bid for melted cords, power not working.
That's an easy fix, don't worry about that one. Just a new cord.
It still costs money.
It does cost money.
But yeah, it's, like I said, it's great for, if you put a 30 amp outlet in your house, great. If you have one wired up, make sure the electricians know that it's 110. It's 30 amp 110, it's not 220. Everything in these campers, 110. Nothing 220. 50 amp is 220, but you got 2 hots, a ground and a neutral. We don't want to get into technical stuff, that was another seminar. But 30 amp is 1 hot, 1 ground, 1 neutral. And we see electricians all the time. They'll wire up somebody's house, 220 on the plugs, because it looks like a dryer plug, $220, and then they're in here buying a converter. Electrician's paying for it, but they're in here buying a converter. So.
Anybody got any other questions?
The X chunks there, good or bad?
I really like them.
He's got a couple of young kids that run around.
Yeah, I got a couple of young kids that run around, like to move the camper, and that will stop. And it goes in between the tires, and it won't move the camper. Use the
Yeah, for those that don't know, it looks like an X. Go between the tires and just push pressure out. So it makes them fight each other to move.
wheel chocks are great, but you'll still get a little bit of side-to-side movement if you don't have anything stopping the tires from moving.
So you're saying that when the kids are running to the game, that will stop, they'll just.
I'm not gonna say it's completely stopping.
It'll help.
It does help.
It definitely
Just like on a fifth wheel, you get a stabilizer up for a front for the kingpin.
Yeah.
I've had people say they help. I've had people say it didn't really matter. Kind of depends what's up there. Some of them have front bedrooms. They may or may not want that up there. I don't know. Some have front living rooms, so there's a lot more activity, throughout the day, so you get a lot more motion up there. It just depends. It's going to be different for everybody. Kids, no kids, if it's just a couple, or say, one person going, they may not notice it as much. So it just depends on your situation.
Do not work on single axle tires. They don't break. That's right. You're recommending
Got a tree back in the back of the
Oh, yeah. Anything that's got 2 or 3 axles. And it's one, you get one, a lot of them repair, so you get one for each side. A lot of people ask, you just do one side, and I'll put them on both sides.
And then, how much does a set of those cost?
That's it, there's like $126 for a pair of them.
It's for 2 of them?
Mm-hmm. It's for a pair. Battery, we can talk about battery disconnect. When you're done camping, disconnect the battery. That way when you get back, there is a draw on the battery when you guys are not using it. If you're not plugged in the house, if you don't have a way to plug it into the house, or if it's in storage somewhere, disconnect your battery. A dead battery will freeze, when it's cold outside. But disconnect that battery, and then when you come back to the camper, as long as that battery is charged, you should be able to just turn the disconnect, and you've got power to run your bed. We run into that all the time, and it'll tell you how many times we gotta go out to the parking lot and take. My tug jack doesn't work, the battery's dead. Well, the camper's been sitting here, waiting to be picked up, 3 days?
3 or 4 days.
3 or 4 days, the battery will be dead. Your LP detector's always growing on it.
Light on the
Radio, which is not much. Your LP detector is your big one. That's going to draw on your battery the whole time. That's a safety device. So disconnect your battery, and then you don't have to worry about that.
Anybody got any other questions?
We talked about the top, said run it in a little bit, let all the water come
If it's
off.
got water on it, yeah.
Go back out and let the top settle and keep it stretching.
Well, but if you look at it, the water's just
Yeah.
stretching down. So after it's rained, run that room in, let that water run off, and then run the room back out. That's all you got to do.
Oh, I thought you meant we were leaving it. I get it.
No, yeah, so that water's not sitting up there the whole time while you're camping. So just run it, it runs off, and then it'll dry. Some of you'll notice that you have water on your floor when you run your slide rooms in. Well, if there's any that's up there on the roof, if you don't have, especially if you don't have time, you run your roof in, your room in, your roof is now inside the camper. So when you get home, I got water on my floor. Well, if there was any water up there on that roof, it's run off and run on your floor. So just make sure. You may not necessarily have to leak. If you rolled it in after it had rained or there was dew outside and it was wet and you rolled in. So those slide seals are supposed to take most of that water off, but it's not going to get everything.
Battery disconnect. You go camping, set everything up. Don't turn that battery disconnect off. Turn it off and turn it back.
Correct. The disconnect has to be
In the used
on in
position.
the used mode for it to charge your battery. So if it's in storage mode and you're plugged in at home, it will not charge your battery. So obviously if you're plugged in, you don't need it on, but just watch if you're plugged in all the time too. Check make your water levels on your battery using distilled water. Because these are not maintenance-free batteries that we put in. So you check your water levels, they'll boil out, you leave it plugged in all the time. So
Can you tell me about regular maintenance of travel trailers? So we're gonna have our seal, but how often do you need to do that?
that's your department.
As far as maintenance of what?
Seals.
Seals,
Slide
so check your
seals.
slide seals.
We don't have a slide, like,
So like roof seals and
Roof
the
seals.
edges on it.
Well, the manufacturer tells you about every 90 days. Just at least get up there, look at it, see for any cracks or voids. Even on the sides of the unit, there's going to be still areas that water can get in. If you want, you can come see me. We do inspections all the time. We can look it over, make sure you don't need anything, nothing's damaged. If it is, we get it fixed, and if it's not, you're good to go. But that's something that's super easy. You make an appointment with us, you take it in, we do an inspection on it, let you know what's going on with it, and have it back.
is that something that also needs replaced every so often?
So when the seals get feeling like powdery donut, they start to dry out.
Better?
They want to, you'll have to remove them and put new on. That takes years of it drying out for that to happen. But most of the time, they're just little cracks and voids. You put a little bit of Dicor over top of them, and it's sealed. Come see me. Depends on camera size.
Ben specializes more on the warranty side of it, as far as service contracts, getting stuff covered under warranty, which manufacturers do not like to cover seals under warranty. Just keep
That's
that in
one
mind.
thing that is not covered at all.
So it's kind of like changing the oil in your car. Car dealership's not going to warranty you not changing your oil in your car. So a lot of people don't realize that. And we hate to be the bearer of bad news when they come in. There's a gap in the seal, but you've had it for 5-6 months. And there's a gap.
Soft spot on the roof.
So that stuff expands and contracts with the temperatures. Don't know, you may have hit a tree limb, scraped the side of it, going down a narrow street at the campground, or to get to the campground. Some of the campgrounds people like to go to are off the beaten path and some narrow roads. So there may have been a tree branch that scraped a hole in a seal, and you guys don't even know it. So that's why they recommend getting up there and checking that stuff, so you don't have any issues.
Are there any other best practices as far as maintaining?
Getting up there and checking them. I would check after you get done camping every time. It depends on what. If you haven't been around any close, you haven't been down any narrow roads or anything, but I would get up there and check. Make sure there's, you don't see any gaps. Age is going to depend on the camper. Is it in the sun all the time? Does it have some shade? I mean, there's a lot of variables to it. Parked under a tree that has stuff that falls out of the tree, sap. So, we make cleaners, conditioners, or we don't, but we sell cleaners and conditioners, to keep it from drying out, keep your seals from drying, your roof membrane from drying out, that kind of stuff that you do like once or twice a year. And then you can do your roof seal as far as around your vents, down your sides, around your door, around your windows, that kind of stuff. Just check. It doesn't take long. Yeah, that's fun. Go through and check. So it creates a lot less headache later on.
They're right, you throw up there. get to the top of these seven, the whole police there, 30 pounds or so, you can pull yourself. Is them things sturdy enough that it's mounted on the roof, what happened?
There's a backer in there, I don't know what the actual,
I do not know what the,
actual weight is, but there's a backer in the back wall that those are attached to. They've done those at the factory. A lot of times when somebody buys a camper that doesn't have a ladder, we'll get the question, hey, can we get a ladder put on the back of that? We have to get with the manufacturer. Most metal sided trailers, there's not a backer in there. Some of the fiberglass ones, there is a backer, they just didn't, either sales didn't order it with the ladder or that particular model didn't have a ladder option on it. But there may be a backer in there, so we have to call the manufacturer just to see if one's available for it. If so, then we can get a price on it and all that good stuff. A lot of the new ones now, Lippert is coming out with a ladder prep, which they put a mount up at the top that a ladder, one of those folding or collapsible ladders will attach to.
it's on the back of the apex, right inside the door.
Just so you know, you cannot add that to your camper. I'll just go and tell you that now. I've had a lot of people ask me that. They will not sell that mount aftermarket in fear of somebody putting it on a camper that doesn't have a backer there for it, and they go climb up and it pulls out and they fall. So that is only an OEM installed. I say the ladders all day long, I've got the ladder, but I cannot sell the mount to put on the back of the camper if you don't have it.
Well, I just looked at this, mine's all them, the ladders on the side.
Your ladder's on the side?
It's toy hole, got a back door. But I've noticed that all toy holes I've looked at, all their ladders are on the side. And what they have to do is, you know.
Yeah, you can get the door.
I was just, I could say they, but when I'm at home, I put my good ladder on, against the slide.
If I had to guess, I would say they're probably rated anywhere between 250 to 300. I can't see any more than 300 pounds. But like I said, my guess is you have to check with each manufacturer to see how they've got it structured.
Well, it gets to be 5 years old.
Yeah, well, we climb up to do estimates out there. I mean, we'll get up on a ladder on some of them. I mean, Ben as light as he is, I mean, you can see him.
Yeah, there's some of them I won't get on.
But I've always got to try to get up there to the campground and sweep it off with some slide.
Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
On the telescopic ladders, you have to be careful where you put it against your.
Well, on the ones that we sell, the Lippert ones, they're made for those mounts. So they have hooks on the ends of it. Okay? Now, Lowe's, Home Depot, Menards, they make those telescoping ladders.
Not with hooks.
I would put some like pool noodles. If you're worried about it, cut you some of that to put on the top of it on the end, so when you lean it up, you're not hurting anything. Pool noodles work great for a lot of stuff. You put covers on campers, put one in your gutter spouts, cut a little piece, or pipe insulation. Put them on there just to guard anything, to keep from cutting the cover or put it on. But like I said, if the ladder you get doesn't have anything padded up there, I would maybe cut up a pool noodle. Those things are cheap, $1 stores. Anybody else? Did we do all right?
Yeah.
Is there anything we didn't cover somebody would like for us to talk about?
Question. On these campers that are all closed, our windows are closed, going down the road, that camper creates a vacuum.
Yeah, I mean, we recommend opening a roof vent
Right, I mean, our
on the inside, especially in the winter time. In the summertime, you've got it at home and sitting there, you're not running your air conditioner. That allows, it's just like your house, your attic has vent to allow that heat to escape. Crack open a roof vent. Let that, some of the newer ones have got attic vents in them as well that do that. But crack a roof vent. If you're worried about the rain, they do make covers like on the back of this little mini camper back here. that you can leave your vent open all the time and not have to worry about the weather, so you can let that air escape. You got 2 vents, open up both of them, it'll create a vacuum, you know, and get any of that hot air out. It just it makes it more, when you go into, more bearable when you go into it to load it up for your next trip. It's had a little heat release in there to get that hot air out.
I have a follow-up question. Mice. Sometimes, a lot of times, we don't get mice in things. Somebody was saying about certain soaps that you cut up.
There's lots, yeah, Irish Spring is what I heard.
Does it work? Or? Some
people say it does, some people say it doesn't. I've heard dryer sheets. We've got some stuff called Fresh Cab that it's like 1 pouch for every, I want to say 20 feet, put one. It becomes like a 2-pack. I've actually used that stuff in my yard barn to keep mice out of it, which works. They've got pellets you can sprinkle down on the outside around the camper, have a perimeter. That's one of those things that everybody's tried everything, and some people have luck with it, some people don't. I don't know if it's the region you're at, and what kind of mice are out there, or what, some like it, some don't. But there are products, yeah. In the wintertime, you want to put something down, especially if you're around the field or you know, city, you don't have to worry about it too much, but you know, in the country, you shouldn't have a big problem.
No, I don't think so. But you never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, a lot of people put them just lay them inside the floor is what they'll do. Just whatever you get, make sure you get something that's not going to stain.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah. I wouldn't recommend doing any of the poison. Just the fact, you know, you're going to be in there. If you have any pets, something gets left behind, something like that, I would recommend that. They do have the stuff that's, you know, safe for animals. You know, like I said, soap, you try that, put it inside the cabinets or whatever.
I say, plus with the poison in there, they either die or they won't die of the stink or filth.
Yes, they do. Or they'll get in the furnace, and the first time you turn the furnace on in the fall, you'll find out real quick where that mouse went that you did. We've had some of those Christmas critters in here. Stink bugs are bad. Mud daubers, they make mud dauber screens for furnace, refrigerator, water heater. On-demand water heaters. The tankless, they do not have anything for those, obviously. But they do make screens for this, for those mud daubers. Stink bugs play havoc. I mean, they get in your. Some of you may have been in here for a leak underneath the cabinet. Well, it ends up being your black tank, flush valve, vacuum breaker. It's got stink bugs in it. Can't see it unless you break it apart and find out that 8 out of 10 times it's a stink bug inside of it that's caused that valve not to be able to open and close. Stuff. And I don't know how they get in there. We haven't figured that out. And I've recommended to Camco, one of the main manufacturers, that they need to come up with some kind of screen for those as well. We sent them pictures. We even made a modification to one, just to kind of give them an idea of what would help. And I haven't seen anything yet. Stink bugs. Stink bugs are bad. Everybody knows that.
I used to make this up, since time, so over a session.
Haven't had any problems.
That's why I did it.
Well, I mean with vacuum or anything like that.
No, it's cut.
Yeah.
Soft. Since time, okay.
You need to patent that. Anybody else have a subject they want to? You have about 10 minutes if anybody's got a subject they want to talk about.
What's your most common rookie mistake?
Rookie mistake? Yeah, I mean, yeah, make sure you put your jacks up before you leave. Make sure on your weight distributing hitch, if you have one, put the pin in your hitch on the truck. We had one person drive out here and it dropped right out here in the light, pulled away, hitch and all came out of the truck, and the trailer there and it drove off. It's happening. Make sure you put that pin in. Because a lot of people, especially when they come here to pick up one for service or whatever, they'll put their hitch in to get hooked up out here. Sometimes they forget it. Yeah, it's happening. Fifth wheels, make sure you lock them in. We got people pull out here, not even get past the stop sign here, and the trailer drops down on the truck. That's a nice little insurance claim there. So make sure your fifth wheel is locked in before you pull away.
We bought our first camper last year, and we got out of district on this. First time I tried baking on that thing, I see grease all over my camper. Do they make anything to put behind those to kind of protect that, or do I just need to take like on and clean it up or not use it? What do people do?
I'm sure that it makes something. I would have to look at the catalog to see. You got me. All these people can't be busy.
They got these heat shields that sell on Amazon. I haven't got one yet. We can get one, but it's like
old Coleman stone.
folds around the outside.
That's what I was thinking of.
Trifold. They sell different kinds on Amazon. Because our refrigerator's right behind our grill. So if I was used the grill, they told me to heat the refrigerator door up and melt it. So I need to get something for ours. Ours is smaller.
Speaking of refrigerator, and Ben can back me up on this, these refrigerators are meant to have air. So some people complain that their fridge isn't working because there's not any air. When you get to a campsite or wherever, if you run your refrigerator, that door needs to be open. Now some of them now are coming with vents from the inside. You get air from the inside.
Vents under the bunk area, where there's just a 4-inch hole cut out, and that's all your ventilation is. Even at that, I would still recommend have the door open. Because if that refrigerator doesn't work, we come home from camping, I'm going to set it on the floor here and test it, and it's going to work 9 times out of 10. And the reason is there's no ventilation.
So are you saying the refrigerator door needs to be left?
No, this is your compartment. It's a compartment.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So it has dead air. Just big bugs in that right there. Where for? What else?
When do you winterizing, are there any other steps that you need to complete outside of sewer?
We've got all your water lines inside. You know, obviously now in the service department we use antifreeze. Some people just blow the lines out and go that route. It does not get everything out of the pump. City water check valve. Well, I mean, you can have your city water check valve if you're using it.
Yeah, but it's still the pump.
But it's still the pump. A lot of people with toilet valves, especially the Domestics. Those are the most common that we see. Those valves, the water doesn't get out of the toilet valve, so they expand. And you go to use your toilet the first time, and you've got water leaking behind your toilet. You can usually tell because you can see the cracks or it's real milky white where it's expanding. So we recommend antifreeze. You know, we spread antifreeze through all the lines. You know, drop your low point drain your water. Water heaters, all you gotta do is drain them. You know, that's just pull the plug on it and you're good there. Bypass the water heater. You know, we've got videos on our Facebook page or website.
Use seminar on that as well.
So we've got videos on how to winterize it and that kind of stuff.
For someone that may live in a camper on a permanent basis, like 30 minutes, what do you do to prevent your pipes?
Well,
a few things that I'd recommend, keeping the cabinet doors open. Cabinet doors are closed, there's no heat to go in there, you're gonna freeze.
A lot of water lines running outside walls, underneath cabinets and stuff. Think about when you come to drive, what's one of the first things that freezes on a road? bridge. Because the air goes underneath. So if you're, depending on where you're at a park, they may or may not, depending on what you can put up permanently for your house. Underpinning,
I've heard people.
straw, hay bales, do not put a light underneath there. Do not put a heat lamp underneath there. Years ago, we had somebody that did that, had a brand new fifth wheel, had a brand new Harley in the back of it, caught fire, burnt the whole thing down.
I don't recommend putting hay bales down there at all.
So,
It's very nice.
yeah, it just depends. I only recommend that because sometimes some of the parks don't allow you to do that. Some of the parks won't allow you to put anything around. So I've told people, say, hey, maybe you get hay bale and they can use that to help with their grass when they get done, spread it out for grass seed or something.
So if you keep your cabin doors and stuff open inside the camper, that would help.
That allows that heat to get inside there. Obviously, you've got heated water hoses you can use. If you've got sewer pipe, heat tape. If you're set up permanently, you imagine you probably hard piped it, PVC pipe, put some heat tape around it. Tank heaters, if you don't have them, some of the newer ones have got tank heaters, especially if they're four season trailers. Make sure you keep track of your propane. We had customer go out of town for a few days and never even thought about it and came back to a frozen camper because their propane ran out. So set your furnace on 50 and walk away. Keeps it 50 degrees in there, that's fine, but when that propane runs out, the temperature's gonna drop quick. And that's what happens.
Do they make campers where the pipes underneath are already insulated?
Pipes aren't insulated, but a lot of these have what they call an underbelly, which is like a plastic corrugated sheets that run front to back that help keep the cold air off of them. Some of them have, depending on what models you get, some of them have furnace ducts that will run down in there as well. That will kind of help with that. Otherwise, there's tank heaters.
That's just one furnace duct running into the underbelly, going down here. So if you've got a few tanks back there, it's not really doing very much help.
So, tank heaters, they also make heaters for your pipes and that kind of stuff that you can put on there. So it just depends on where you're at. If you got to live in it here, it's one thing, where you can just head south. That's where it's from. I think we have to wrap it up, so appreciate you guys being here today, coming out. It's supposed to be nice weather this weekend, so enjoy your day. Thank you. Oh wait, one last thing here, I forgot. We normally give something away, don't we? Oh yeah. See? Nobody's gonna mention it. So we got one prize today. I'm not gonna tell you what it is till we're all names. These were the people that pre-registered. We have one seminar left, which I think is the 9th of March. That'll be our new product seminar. We usually run that in the parts showroom area. So we basically just walk around and we'll show you the new stuff that we've got in. So that'll be over there then. What's the name?
Sarah Keller.
Sarah Keller, 22-inch electric Blackstone grill. So I've got that up at the front desk. So you guys walk in. Thank you for coming, guys.
Well, I'm out of here.
You going walking?
Yeah, we're going up to Ferdinand today.
What's up there?
Trails, but we've got a different trail to go on.
Oh, you guys?
I didn't realize they had any up there.
Well, neither did I, but I also, when I get up there, I want to check out some of the camping areas.
What's up there?
We got a campground up there. Ferdinand State Park.
Oh, there's a state park there?
So for the roof inspections, I'm the
It might be 2:30. I have to look. Okay, that's close enough. I just want to know. It's super easy inspection. But I know the roof is 120 and the sides are 100. Hey, that's what I'm asking. I noticed in my average it's 2 feet. Wait, is that 2 feet?
So just walk through your step. There are trusses that will cross. Step on those. Just be careful before you walk outside. Make sure the line is 30 before you walk. In some cases, I've got some of these campers. The new ones, all day long, are little list of issues. Which, like I said, I'm like, that's probably my wheel. I think we had that like a small. Right. That's one thing y'all really don't do.
See, I'm gonna say, I noticed I think in the YouTube video, they talk about